And we're hot.
All right, everyone. If you're arriving here and you want to watch the show, go about 3.5, 4 minutes in the future. You'll hit the theme music, and then all of this wonderfully produced content will be headed straight to your brain. But the nice part about this content is no NPCs allowed. They would just send them screaming, screaming. So that's me. How are you doing, the missus?
Oh, I'm
Oh,
doing
oh,
okay.
oh, don't answer. Don't answer. Because we have to have content, right?
What?
We have to have people, listen and stuff. We have to have funny things to say.
Oh, okay. So you don't want me to talk?
Not at all.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing. Okay, I
Well, that's
got
good
that.
content. Good night, everybody.
we're, we're done here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
makes me
it's
have to bring up the chicken hat meme.
chicken, chicken, hat,
hmm
hat.
Someday you just add a bow tie to your chicken hat and get on with life as best you can. Carry on, carry on.
Carry on. It's enough chicken hat for you.
Yup.
Hey, it says there's one person watching already.
And Jim says, "What's the thing about the horse?"
Do you not have you not heard about that one, Jim? Um, okay, so there was the couch meme about our friend
Vance,
JD
yeah. Uh-huh.
Vance, and there was also a rumor that somebody had to have his stomach pumped from ingesting too much
Was it Rod Stewart?
horse butter.
Was it Rod Stewart?
So, so that's that rumor.
So who was the rumor about?
Walls,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And now,
Is that his
well,
part-time job? Does he go to Tijuana and do that on the weekends?
yes, indeed.
Pick up
Ah,
tips because they're untaxed.
tax. Thanks to that.
hmm
Thanks to Kamal's decisiveness.
There's a dog fight going on behind me over here. Actually, it's not a dog. It's little brother picking on big brother.
All right. Yeah, yeah. It's not a particularly savory thing, but you either know or you don't know. Now you know, so you can't get away
I
from that,
know.
Jim.
Can't be unheard.
Ah, it could be worse. It could be about Kamala. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have said
And
that
now
either.
that's a thing you know.
Yeah. Okay. Just about ready to break my computer.
Oh, we got movie sign.
We got movie sign and we got Mark too. Hit it.
If I could find it. There we go.
It's the
Bants and
button.
Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Oh, yeah. Oh, welcome to the 138th live edition of Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. I missed my cue entirely. As always, I'm your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With me, as always, is
Wake
Mark
the hell up.
Hey, I am awake.
Not you,
and the
Mark.
missus. And the
I am
missus.
barely awake, so.
So Mark, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Okay, you need a little bit more emotive about that.
I am doing really great.
Mark, we've been told we're uninteresting and boring.
What?
So, was there anything funny that happened to you this weekend? Some amusing anecdote? Got up and your neck hurt or something?
Um,
Got killed by a
you,
Sasquatch?
no, I can't really think of anything. Although I did horrify one of my wife's nieces yesterday.
This could be good. Continue.
Well, it was just I was relating a news story. I'll probably be bringing it up later So, but hopefully I
Okay.
won't ruin it. But I was relating a news story about some woman that had been mauled to death by 25 Great Danes. You imagine 25 Scooby-Doos. Anyway, they've been mauled to kill her. But anyway, I guess I didn't realize it, but apparently I
Uh-oh.
started smiling when I started relating this story, and it just really bothered her, my wife's niece.
Oh, rut row, rut row, rut row. I like it. The missus, how are you doing?
Oh, so tired. Hmm.
And I have a kind of a sore throat going too. So, it was very nice and cool here until it became as hot
Yes.
as
Satan's
that stuff that,
armpit.
yeah,
Satan's armpit.
yep, that's better than what I was going
Because
to say.
not only is
So,
it hot, but it's humid.
and Jay Humphrey says dark humor is like food. Not everyone gets it. I will note that there is a big announcement.
Massive cannibalism.
Uh, Biden has selected his VP candidate, and it's famed Underground Railroad conductor Harriet Tubman.
I think that's a good pick for him.
Yeah. Catherine says, but the dark side has cookies. So here's the funniest thing. Here's the longest it's ever taken me to get a joke so far. So we watched the movie Matrix. So do you remember when Neo met, the old lady who was supposed to tell his future?
Right.
Yeah.
And she's a computer program, right? And she wouldn't talk to him until he took a cookie. So he couldn't do anything until he took a cookie.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dumb.
Oh, that's funny. I'd never made that
Yeah.
connection.
Neither did
Yeah,
I.
me.
Yeah.
We were this. I saw it today. So we were this years old
Yeah.
when we
This
found
year's
that
old, and
out.
I realized that was a joke.
All right. So why don't you show us your funny things? I know you got them.
I do. I have a lot of funny things. I mean, I didn't want it to seem like I wasn't
Okay.
working.
So how many do you have?
I have 7.
Okay. So let's do 3 now and 4 at the end.
Okay. I didn't set them up that way, but okay. All right. Well, here's the first one. It says, I hate it when I see an old person, and then I realize we went to high school together.
And it was someone you taught, right?
Yeah, right. Next. When you see your name on the FBI watch list for posting memes, finally, some recognition for all of my hard work. And number 3. Haikus confuse me. Too often they make no sense. Hand me the pliers.
You're not making a haiku, you're just counting syllables. All
So
right.
that's
Well,
the first set.
okay, that's the first set. So we'll do 3 now and then 4 at the end. So, and I'm imagining this 4 are going to be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yes. Amazing. The best. Huge. They're the best memes of all time.
Now, I have to warn everyone that there won't be any Jackass of the week because somebody's pretty tired. So, but at least
I've
we've
been
got
busy.
it.
I've just I'm
Yeah, well, at
kind of
least-
starting to get caught up, but I'm still not completely caught up.
Okay.
So,
So,
I'm behind on everything.
we once again, thanks to the election, have the crossroads of Conversation Street. So we got 2 streets. So why don't you take us down the first one?
And now it's time for us to take down the smooth sidewalks of Conversation Street.
I'm starting to think he does that on purpose.
Kamala currently indicates that she might, in a few weeks, maybe give an interview, but not to Time Magazine because they're too hard hitting. Kamala also states that she's just too busy getting the message out to answer press questions at all. And if you search for policy on her campaign website, it's a 404, file not found. Her one solid policy is that there should be no tax on tips, when she was the deciding vote on having the IRS go after tipped employees like a hound dog on Elvis's shoes.
Nah, she
Yeah,
just misunderstood when someone said just the tip.
Thank you. We need you for that joke. Why must Kamala Harris try to destroy the legacy of Kamala Harris, Mark?
It's just whatever is expedient. I mean, She sort of reminds me of the script for a superhero movie. The heroes are as powerful as the writers want them to be for a particular scene, and it jumps around. And it's sort of the same way with her. She's just whatever she needs to
Again,
do.
I
There's no soul there. I mean, if you were to look for soul, it also would be a 404 message.
so I wrote about
She
her
is the
today.
NPC candidate.
That is exactly. You don't read my posts. That's the title of my post from today. She is the NPC candidate, and the NPCs are driven by what? Television. Why? Because they don't have any connection to reality. They don't have a set of friends. I mean, they don't have a group of people like us. I mean, as crazy as small knit is small and tightly knit. Wait, we have selective appeal. As our community is here on Bombs and Bants, you know, we would call each other out if we were thinking crazy thoughts, but they're looking to be led. And I think you're exactly right. She is the NPC candidate.
Well, and it's the difference
Go
between
ahead.
being a Democrat and also being a Republican now. As a Republican, as a conservative, we can disagree with each other. It's okay not to agree with everything Republicans do. And you can still be a Republican. You can't do that if you're on the left.
Mark?
I agree. I love seeing a circular firing squad, because that's basically all the left does anymore when if there is something that comes up that they disagree with. That's why it's been so amusing watching the reaction to the Gaza/Israel conflict, is just the left eating itself.
Yeah, that has been because they can't come around with a coherent set of marching orders to give each other, right? Because
I fully expect Kamala to change her opinion on Gaza after the election.
absolutely.
Well, what is her opinion on Gaza? Who can say?
Well, it's whatever her puppet masters tell her. I mean,
Well, we
that's
don't
the
even
thing
know
is
what that is.
she's vaporware. She doesn't want to have a position because then people would be against her. She's against illegal immigration, except she's going to release all of them into the country and give them citizenship as fast as she can.
And she wants the
well,
IRS to
then
go.
they're no longer illegal immigrants. That's her logic.
Oh, genius. And, and she
No,
wants the IRS to go after people who aren't paying their taxes, except when those people might vote for her, and now they don't have to pay taxes on anything at all.
okay. While we're still going strong, let's move down let's take a slight right turn.
Right.
And as I asked last week, do you think with enough donations she can stop her OnlyFans account? Okay, we're now back on Trump watch. Trump scored big with tens of millions of views on a conversation with noted violinist Elon Musk on X last night. Tim Walz has been cited as someone who made up his rank and also made up combat experience and bailed on his unit when it was announced they were bound for Iraq. Actual combat veteran JD Vance challenged the Walz. I think Kamala picked Walls because she just liked the way that word feels in her mouth. Walls.
I would
Walls.
tend to
Anyway,
agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, she likes tonguing walls. Anyway,
She probably mistook him for a tampon dispenser.
pictures of JD Vance in drag while in college have just shown up on the internet, and news came out that the Trump campaign had been hacked by Iran. Mark, why does the CIA work for Iran?
I think it's the other way around. I think Iran works for the CIA. Although I have to admit, it is suspicious the number of high-ranking Iranian people with Iranian background worked in the Obama administration and foreign policy, and it's probably just as bad under Biden.
The missus, jump on in.
Well, I mean, it's only fair since Tim Walz is a member of the Iranian military, so.
Well, no,
And
actually,
you say that's not true, and I say, yeah, but the left makes up anything they want to about the right. I think it's only fair game. Nothing has to be true.
Actually, he is had many, many wonderful meetings with the Chinese Communist Party and has had many visits to China. He is, I won't say, red on
Well,
the
he's
inside,
just
but
taking notes, to know what to do when he's vice president. That's all.
And his favorite food over there are honey pots.
Eh.
so it's been a couple weeks now. Mark, what are your thoughts on JD Vance?
Uh, I don't know. I don't actually know that much about him. I've read a couple articles he's written that sort of summarized his ideas in his book, but I haven't read the book. So I don't know. I'm I have to admit I'm actually a little wary of him because he went through the Ivy League system, and I'm
Hmm.
automatically suspicious of anybody that went to the Ivy Leagues who tries to portray themselves as sort of a everyday American, because they're not. Those people represent their own class. They have their own interests and everything, and to them they're the rulers of the universe. So
Yeah, but he was the son of a drug addict, and bear in mind when you don't come from that old money, you'll never be one of them, no matter how successful you are.
well, yeah, I mean you can make that argument, but um, I don't know. I mean, Obama ended up, he was the son of something, and
Well, he has, let's say, added characteristics that they like to be associated with. And by that I mean
well,
he's a communist. So
that's true. I mean, Vance isn't a homosexual, but
right,
um,
that too.
but I don't know. And I mean, particularly when you look at Vance's wife, I mean, she's got sort of these connections that I think actually does put him in that upper elite group. So
Well, she's
I don't know.
Indian, right? Isn't she Indian?
Yeah, yeah.
So I would imagine
Dot,
that
dot.
yeah, dot, not feather. I would
Hmm.
assume that she's probably from the Brahmin caste. So
Oh,
that's true, but
undoubtedly.
but still, I mean, still Indian. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Republican. I'm saying that because that's how Democrats would think. They're still an oppressed minority.
Maybe she's from the Flycast. All right, I'm going to move us along. And
Does that
Mark,
mean
are you
she's
ready?
like one of the Fly Girls from like In Living Color from back in the '90s? Is that what you mean by
Oh,
that?
okay, you say my jokes aren't topical. Good heavens.
That was the first thing I thought of. I was just like, "What the
Okay.
hell are you talking about?"
No, like fly fishing. All right,
I
Mark, are you ready
still
for
don't understand why you said
two
it. So,
minutes of guns in 1 minute?
Sure.
oh wait, we're done with Conversation Street. Okay, all right, I'm ready. Mark, are you ready?
Yes.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So I wasn't actually sure what I was going to talk about this week, and then it dawned on me this afternoon I could just talk about what my blog post was recently on firearm related topic, which was some couple examples you can use because when
15
responding
seconds.
to the stupid liberal talking point of, oh, why do you need an AR-15 for hunting, or why do you need a 30-round magazine for hunting or self-defense or whatever, and brings me back
30
to,
seconds.
first of all, the story I related at the beginning of this, which was the woman that was mauled to death by a pack of 25 dogs, and on a hiking trail and stuff. 25. I mean, you'd
45
obviously need at
seconds.
least 30 rounds for that. Another story that caught my attention was some poor guy that got beat up by a bunch of
In
people
3,
riding
2,
motorcycles
1,
down in,
stop.
I think it was in LA, and they had, oh, am I done? There
You're
were
done.
30 of them. I'm just going to throw that in. 30 of them. I don't care if I'm cheating.
There you go. So, so what is the best new rifle produced in the United States, and why is it the AK-50, Mark? Have you seen the AK-50?
Oh, I would love to have an AK-50, although I couldn't afford to actually shoot it.
It exists. Brandon Herrera, if you go to his website, has them listed for sale for I believe $6,999 a piece.
Oh, really? That's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, it's an AK-50. Takes the Barrett 50 caliber magazines, and it's amazing. You know, again,
It
I
is
hate
pretty
to
cool.
I hate to I don't want to overwhelm his YouTube channel, which only has 3 or 4 million subscribers, but the AK-50, it's worth it.
It would.
Yeah, what
I
he's
mean,
trying to say is not all of you
you could
rush over
hunt-
there at once. You'll crash the server.
You could hunt anything in North America with that easy. In fact, anything in the world.
Oh,
It's
well,
a
yeah,
perfect big game rifle.
and you can shoot them with indirect fire. Let's go. Let's go ballistic. All right. We do not have Jackass of the Week, so
You know,
would you like
so
to-
here's my explanation.
It's just
about the whole
Kamala.
Jackass
Let's just
thing.
say it's Kamala.
That's
for this
it.
week.
You know, I really thought about that. Just from now on out, it's just going to be Kamala, because I'm like, you know, we have gone so round the bend with respect to. It's hard to do comedy and parody anymore because it's hard to tell the difference. You know.
we've got some coming. Well, but that's also what Kamal said.
Kamal said, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Think Real Fast.
My mouse is not cooperating. It's not me. It's my mouse. Where's it at? There it is. That's all you get.
All right. Did you guys hear that the Olympics was a thing and that they had breakdancing? And then an Australian named Rachel Gunn, she went by the name Ray Gunn, competed in 3 straight dance-offs and got 3 straight zeros out of whatever they scored in for breakdancing. Mark, was it worth it for Ray Gunn to do that, to get breakdancing banned as an Olympic sport?
Yes, definitely. It's not a sport, first of all. It's a form of dance. What are they going to do next? Have Olympic ballerina?
Well, they have, they had rhythmic gymnastics, which, dancing with feathers or ribbons.
Rhythmic gymnastics?
Yes. You didn't see that? I mean, I haven't watched it in
I didn't watch
decades,
any
but
of the Olympics because I just don't care.
Jim says the Olympics are dead to him. The
Yeah,
missus,
same here. Yeah.
do you think it was a travesty that they didn't call for medical attention when Rachel Gunn looked like she was having a seizure while pretending to be a kangaroo
Well,
breakdancing?
you know what the backstory is on that, don't you?
Well, I do know that her husband was the judge for the team, and that she was only competing against her students, and they only gave like a 30-day notice. I mean, it was just sketchy as hell.
No, the background is on that is that she is some sort of anthropology professor, and she views this putting the breakdancing in the Olympics as cultural appropriation. And so that's why she did that. To show how white people should not be allowed to breakdance because it's something that only belongs to black or indigenous people.
But shouldn't they have called for medical help when she was having a seizure while pretending to be a kangaroo?
Maybe they just should have taken her out and shot her. Because her leg was broken or something.
But
Like you do with a horse. You got to put it down.
But she did get breakdancing banned as an Olympic sport, so that will never be back. We'll never have to worry about that
They didn't
again.
ban breakdancing as an Olympic sport.
In my mind, they did, and that's all that matters nowadays.
That is true. That is true.
A man from Sutton, England, chanted, quote, "Who the heck is Allah?" But he didn't use the word heck at a protest. He was sentenced and jailed for 18 months. Oh, well, I mean, he's just started his 18-month jail sentence. Mark, is this really what the British fought for in the D-Day invasion?
Apparently. I've pointed out several times on my blog, for instance, that the British won World War II and then immediately started adopting everything they hated about the Nazis.
Well, and
They've
clearly,
become what they hated. They've become what they hated.
clearly what he should have done was replaced Allah with Jesus Christ, and then he would have been lauded as being very stunning and brave.
Well, so I have a question for you, the missus.
Yeah.
In sentencing, 18 months, that's a long time.
Okay.
But since he committed a crime against Allah, wouldn't it be better if they just forced him to eat a bacon sandwich instead? And that way, that would make him damned in the eyes of Allah. So, everybody wins.
That's true. I've told you my story. I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast or not
No,
before.
no, don't share this one. Save it for later.
Why not? Why not?
Save it for later.
For when? I won't remember it later. When is a better time than now to share this story?
Okay, go for it.
All right, so I have this friend, and this had took place in Mount Pilot. Okay, so it's not here in Mayberry, and there is a big Muslim, I guess it's
Center.
a mosque or community center, something. It's huge, huge, right? So this person I know, their dad knew the guy who was like the foreman, the project manager on the job. And in the foundation of that huge, giant Muslim mosque slash community center is a bag of pork rinds.
So there you have it.
Yep.
And speaking of a bag of pork rinds,
That gets us.
This just in, Fat Sam Gamgee actor Sean Astin is all in for Kamala. Mark, are you as shocked as I am that an actor could be a left-wing nepotism baby?
I am shocked. That is amazing. I would never have dreamt that in my wildest dreams.
The missus, do you think
Actually, are there any prominent actors today that aren't Nepo babies?
Well, Fraser Crane, I'm listening.
I think you could have stopped that sentence a little earlier. Are there any famous actors today?
Well, there's Tom Cruise, but he has a tooth in the middle of his face.
Yeah, right.
The missus,
Not to shoot ourselves in our own foot, but people, who's the most famous person on the planet today is like Mr. Beast, right? Though he has his own myriad of problems. But, there are no famous Hollywood people anymore.
you can't dodge this anymore. The missus,
Okay.
Do you think that it's high time that John Astin disowned his fat hobbit adopted son?
No, I think John Astin just needs to come out as transgender and then talk about how his son made fun of him.
There you go. And John Astin is not his biological father, so just letting you know
Isn't
that.
John Astin dead?
No, I checked out today.
Oh. He's
In
one of
doing
those
show-
guys where you need to go and go, is that guy dead or alive?
He's 90.
Yeah.
If you want to kill a TV show, just put John
I was
Astin
just
in
going to
it.
say, he should be out there being in shows and ruining those shows. Not that he's a bad actor, it's just anything he gets involved with just immediately goes into the trash for some unknown reason. And I'm very serious about that.
Yeah, I'll never forgive him for taking Briscoe County Jr. out.
Right. You want to kill a series? Just have John Astin guest star.
All right. Oh, where am I? Oh, okay. Adult Happy Meals from McDonald's will soon have cups featuring 1990s moments, including Hello Kitty and the polar bears drinking Coca-Cola. Mark, isn't this tantamount to genocide?
Of the people that are buying them and eating them? I hope so.
Uh,
I just
There
think
you
it's
have it.
cultural appropriation. Stop appropriating my young adulthood.
well, your question is, why is Putin backing Adult Happy Meals?
There's a punchline in there somewhere. So,
There is.
Bob, I'm going to go with just the tip.
Okay. All right. No special sauce for you. All right. All right. See, that was where you should have gone with the
There
special
you
sauce.
go. There you
Yeah,
go.
anyway.
But you had to do the other joke first, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Codex said, wait, adult kitty meals. Jim Wetzel, I too wonder if I heard correctly. And if I said kitty meal, I'm sorry, adult happy meals. So these are really a thing. These are what the man children and women children who live in big cities have instead of lives. So anyway, Boeing Starliner might be stuck to the International Space Station forever. And the astronauts who originally signed up for a 3-hour tour may be stuck up there for 6 more months. The Starliner apparently has no way to automatically undock and re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. No problem, right? We'll have an astronaut do it, undock, and then, let it do its thing. No, the hatch isn't big enough for an astronaut in an EVA suit. So once you get in, you're in. Mark, shouldn't the Boeing executives get even bigger bonuses because their spacecraft stayed up longer than Elon Musk's boring spaceships that just go up to the space station and then come right back down?
Exactly the way they're supposed to.
Gosh, the more I hear about this Starliner, the more retarded it sounds. I mean, this is going to be the dumbest thing that anyone could have ever come up with. I'm so glad that they went DEI at Boeing. Aren't you?
I'm not a shareholder, so yeah, it's cool with me. Um,
Jeez.
the missus, do you think they'll send the astronauts up some fresh undies for the?
One would hope.
I guess
I
they
mean,
just recently
do they
set up
have
3.
palm trees that they can make grass skirts out of on the space station?
I know, and then the professor will make a little car that they can travel
That's
around
right.
in.
That's right.
So there is a website that maybe I go to that they do talk about. I don't know if you've seen the female astronaut, but they call her the space switch. I don't know if you've seen her. Well, let's put it this way: she has a chin that's like if I made a fist around it, there would still be chin sticking out of it. I mean,
Wow.
she's yeah. If you just look up the Starliner astronauts, you will see the space witch. Anyway, I digress.
Well, let me see if I
According
can
to
find a picture here.
yeah, well, as long as everybody doesn't mind, because we've only got like
Yeah.
Doesn't it warm your heart though that the American taxpayer spent $4 billion that
to send the space witch up.
POS spacecraft from Boeing?
Oh, I know, and in fact, they paid a lot more for it than they pay for the Falcon, like a lot, like 7 times as much. But you know
Well,
what? It's
I bet you Boeing turns around and charges them now because it's an addition to the International Space Station.
yeah, it'll be like the Russian module, except
Gosh. Except the Russian module could actually detach if they had to.
right. I suppose they could. Actually, somebody did talk about using at some point. You might actually have to cut the Russian module loose in order to get the thing, get the docking port free. So did you find the space witch?
I did, but I have to open another program because of.
I can tap dance for a little bit longer.
Okay, sure.
All right, we will move along to the next item, but we'll come back to the space witch when we're there. A doctor died at the Disney Resort after eating some allergy thing. People are allergic. People are so weak nowadays, allergic to everything that the staff said wasn't in his food. Okay, so that she actually said, "Hey, I'm allergic to this. It'll kill me." It's not in your food. So the surviving spouse sued. Disney says that since the couple did a free trial of a Disney Plus subscription a few years ago, they agreed to arbitrate all disputes with Disney. Mark, does that mean that Disney can come and execute any family it wants to if they've ever subscribed to Disney Plus and only face arbitration?
Um, well, that I'm sure that's their position.
I
I
read
just
that.
want I just
Read
want to see what a court says. That's funny.
the missus, if I ever hummed under the sea, does that mean Disney is the real owner of our home?
I'm pretty sure they probably already bought it some way. It's a reverse mortgage or something like that.
Yep. So you have that picture of the space witch?
Oh, I'm getting there, and there it is.
All right.
Let me embiggen it.
Keep going. Let's get that face
It's
on the screen.
it's right
Oh my
there.
gosh. You're right.
It's the space witch. I did not
It
exaggerate.
looks like a prosthetic.
I know, right? I'm just wondering how the helmet went over the head. I mean, That's the most unfortunate chin I've ever
You
seen.
know, it looks like he has like this bandage under his chin. Maybe like the G-force testing they do, it does that to their faces. And he just had his removed, and she just went with it and is just rolling with it.
So that is
Or
the
maybe
space witch.
or maybe she turned her head suddenly and it smacked him in the face, right there under his chin.
No, I think you're thinking about Kamala, Mark.
And Jim Wetzel, that's hell of a chin. So,
Well,
so
because
it's
you
a very,
really have to see it from the side, because if you see it from the front, she just looks like she's Sally Manjaw. But
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know how you get a chin like that, but she
but
has
there it
one
is
that looks like
in
that.
living color.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the space witch. All right, moving along. Maybe that's something that only amuses me.
I
All right.
find that very amusing.
Um, Apparently every social security number ever, 2.9 billion of them, was stolen by a hacker. Mark, is this Boeing's fault or Disney's fault?
Both.
Well, if it's Disney's, they're just going to have to go into arbitration over it.
It's a
I mean, you clicked, I agree.
It's just the example of the incompetence of government.
I believe this is actually a private company that
Oh, it was a private company?
Yeah.
Why did they have all those social security numbers?
I'm sure it was like Boeing or Disney. They're government contractors.
I'm
All
sure
right.
it
So
was
again,
an excellently
so
good,
that takes you
stupid
just
reason.
back to
Yeah.
that just takes you back to it being another example of government incompetence.
Hey, if they can make a space helmet that will fit Space Switch, I mean, somebody's doing something right.
Yeah, but you don't know if that helmet works.
The misses, does this mean that they'll have to sort through 2.9 billion votes this November? Be careful what you say.
I know.
No,
No, it's
because
just
elections
like,
are.
like my mother, who, when she was alive, she was kind of a bit of a centrist. She would occasionally vote Republican, voted Democrat a lot, but since she's passed away, she votes straight ticket Democrat. So
Many such cases.
yeah.
All right. And Jim says he has all of the social security numbers. All right. According to Professor John Lott, crime fell 17% under Trump and then soared by 43% under the first 2 years of Biden. Mark, why does Kamala Harris love crime so much?
I don't know, birds of a feather flock together type of thing.
The missus, do you think what kept crime down was Trump's hair? That he used the same hold on it?
I think it's possible. I'm not sure what he uses. He must go through a lot of Aquanet. Whatever it is he uses to keep that in place.
It's a rock solid.
And
very
I
rock
would just
solid.
find it very amusing to be able to see a picture of him when he first gets up in the morning. Because that all comes from one side of his head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's probably looks like Johnny Rotten first thing in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then, he has to scoop it up and,
Yeah.
put it all in
And
place.
you gotta say he does his own hair. So
Yeah.
all right. I'm sorry. Waymo robo taxis are frustrating San Franciscanites. I don't know what a plural San Franciscan is, because they're honking each other in their robot car parking lot at night when it's dark and there's no one around. Yes, the robo taxis are talking to each other at night. Waymo
Don't forget
says
they're driving around in their parking lot too.
Waymo says they're trying to fix it. Mark, what could go wrong with robots talking to each other and driving around in the middle of the night with no human oversight whatsoever?
Absolutely nothing. In fact, I think they should give them guns.
The missus, is that how you get Skynet?
Nah, it's probably nothing.
It's probably fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Well, you may think you're tough, but you probably have never beaten an entire country. But Chinese female swimmer Zhang Yufei won as many medals as 1.4 billion Indians. Mark, do you think that she's stronger than 1.4 billion of them?
No.
Very succinct. The missus, if
I'm
there was a
sorry,
scam,
I'm being attacked by a gaseous animal, and I can't tell which one it is. There's one lying on either side of me. One feline, one canine, and one of them is leaking.
well, spare that.
Oh, oh,
Spare,
oh!
spare
It's foul.
the
Oh,
missus.
it's got to be the cat. Got to
if
be
there
the
was a
cat.
if there was a scammer Olympics, who would win, India or Nigeria?
I gotta go with the Nigerians.
Gotta go with Nigerians.
Hey, did you hear about
It's a
that?
it's a national pastime there.
Did you hear about that Nigerian guy they found dead in a hotel room with like $2.7 million in cash? The poor
I
guy,
did.
he's just been trying for years to have someone help him get that cash out of the country, and nobody will listen.
So I actually on my Twitter, someone who's named Elon Muck, Muck, said followed me. So I return followed, and he said so he direct messaged me, which is that's just kind of, you don't do that, and so unless you guys could, but so I listened. So he said, "Hi, Mr. John. Are you one of my supporters?" So I went and I looked, and there were several indications that he was Nigerian in his tweets, even though he was trying to be Elon Musk's language. And so I said, "Ogun, gonna take your mama." Ogun is their god of iron, and apparently eats mothers and something. And so he immediately blocked me. So I've cursed Nigerian scammer out in Nigerian.
But not before he said that Ogun was going to destroy your entire lineage.
Yes. Yeah, you get your Ogun right here. If Ogun worked, you'd have an actual world power there in Nigeria, so I'm not worried. All right. The missus, take us away on your final frivolity.
What am I? Oh, right, the funnies. See, I completely forgot. It's lack of sleep.
That's why I'm the crack host.
I would just also like to point out that I am still waiting on the whole CPAP thing. It's been like a month. I've gotten to the point where I'm dreaming that I have a CPAP. So very tired. Okay, let's go back to the funnies. So this has been making the rounds on social media with the caption, "My cat dunked its face in a bowl of flour and I nearly had a heart attack." That's a black cat.
Gosh. That would be creepy to wake up to.
Maybe even creepier if it had little human hands.
But it kind of almost looks like it does. That's like that first picture. It just looks like the girl from The Ring. Except it's your cat.
There's you. Yeah, okay.
Cat did that on purpose.
Next.
Man, these things to test whether or not you're an AI are getting more and more difficult. Find the Chihuahua.
Oh my. A Chihuahua chip cookie.
Yep, a Chihuahua chip cookie. Oh, this doesn't taste like chocolate chip. It's not. It's Chihuahua chip. Little Kamala joke.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
And then the last one, the big finish.
I like it. Oh,
I don't like that one.
Jim says, "Where does
Yeah.
the mustache come from?" And I think it maybe it licked itself. Because cats kind of have long tongues.
Then it have a pasty, floury tongue.
No, because they have those little sandpaper tongues. I mean, they use it to comb their own hair.
Right, but it'd be
Yeah.
covered. It'd be filled up with.
No, because cats have saliva. They eat food. It would just swallow it and then lick anew.
No.
Yes.
They don't have saliva.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any other final thoughts for the evening?
No.
Wait, I had something for that.
I like
Marcus?
turtles.
Yep. Mark again being monosyllabic. No.
And then
Just no. All right, so Mark's done. The missus, do you have any final thoughts?
I think those were my final thoughts.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. I am your dedicated and humble host, John. Thanks for coming. See you next week, I think. I think she should get some rest.
Hopefully. We are talking about licking news in the chat.
At least some space so Mark can say goodbye.
You didn't even walk
Bye,
us out in the
everyone.
right way.
Bye, everyone.
He sounds so sad. Oh, I think it's probably best that we're done. Y'all come back now, you hear?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my friggin' life.